about 25 seconds. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. We'll get started here in about 20 seconds.
If we've started, the Zoom is on mute, so we're not able to hear anything in the audience here on the.
Okay, I didn't realize it was on mute. Was it on mute the whole time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's do the school song from the top. All right, and now for our school song. We are the brothers of the old with the goal of becoming the best in USA. We believe it's a way around, it's not just the way to achieve. Our actions are governed by character, honesty, humility. Excuses don't exist. We are loyal to our family, committed to our community, service of mankind and humanity. We have the audacity to hope and succeed. We are the brothers of Barack Obama, Male Leadership Academy. We have the audacity to hope and succeed. We have the audacity to believe and achieve. we've achieved succeed.
And now for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. You may be seated. All right, thank you all very much. I understand that we were muted for the beginning. Like I said, we're going to get started and get this process more smooth. But we're going to continue focusing on line 8, which is we are our brother's keeper. And I have this week, I know we have a lot of stuff going on. We have a guest speaker today, but I'm going to make sure that no later than Monday we begin, or we resume our visioning activity, because we want to make sure that all the brothers have a voice and have a say-so in the collaborative process of developing our vision and saying who we are and what we believe in. And I believe that's a very, very close tie to we are brothers keepers. If we're going to all belong, we want to give everyone a chance to tell us what they need, tell us what they see that the school should be about. So we're going to hand it on over to Mr. Dover, and then we'll look at our birthday.
All right, so yesterday's mindfulness didn't really go as planned, but you guys did a great job of going with it anyway. But it's still a really good video and a good practice. So when we're not successful the first time, we try again, right? We go to sleep, we wake up, and we're ready to try again. So we're going to do the same one from yesterday and hope that the sound works. I think it will. I'm confident. All right, so let's give it a shot.
So sitting comfortably, just beginning with a nice big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So eyes open, a soft focus. As you breathe out, you can allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. But just keep the eyes open for a moment. Just focusing in on one particular object within your field of vision. Not staring at it too intently, still aware of the space around you. But just gently focusing on that one object. And then just slowly zooming back out again as you blink a few times with the eyes.
All right, so that's a quick one, but that is a quiet practice that you can do if you're in class, you're starting to lose focus, you're feeling a little antsy, just focusing on your breath and focusing on one object in the room to just re-engage your focus. So that is a practice that you can use during the class and it doesn't disturb anybody. So it's a quick one, but a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Dover. And like Mr. Akbar mentioned yesterday, it would be a great idea, a wonderful opportunity to lead for each of the advisors if that's something that the teacher and the class wanted to do. We already have a 9 weeks plus worth of mindfulness activities, so you have a very good selection right there. Let me see what birthdays we have today. Then we'll do announcements and then our guest speaker. All right, look at that. How about that, Brother Pedro Cueva? So when you see Brother Pedro, wish Brother Pedro a happy birthday. 12th grade, Brother Pedro. All right, happy birthday, Brother Pedro. When I see you, I'll make sure I give you a nice birthday.
I heard it was somebody's birthday. I heard it was somebody's birthday. Yeah. PJ Penn's birthday song. Yeah. Yeah. Today is your birthday. We gon' say it loud. Today is your birthday. I know you're so proud. Today is your
That wish
turn
him a happy
now.
birthday.
About to throw a party, get it lit.
When you see him in the hallway, see him in the classrooms, make sure that you give him a happy birthday. All right, I want to give you all an announcement that I. Excellent, excellent. Okay, I wanted to talk again to the eighth graders. I spoke to the eighth grade advisory classes yesterday to remind them about the PSAT that'll be tomorrow. Please make sure you check the rosters. They're on the landing up there on the stairs, just so that you're ready tomorrow. Running around trying to figure out where you are. What other announcements do we have?
Mr. Jackson, can you please repeat that announcement towards the computer?
Oh, yes. So for the eighth grade brothers, I went to each of your advisory classes yesterday and spoke to you in person, just to remind you to be prepared for the PSAT tomorrow and to also check your rosters. The rosters are located right there on the landing on top of the stairs. So please make sure that all the eighth grade brothers have checked their rosters. So yeah, you all shouldn't be going to Lyston. You'll report right to your roster, right to your testing location. What other announcements do we have? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Forte.
Good. Good morning. I just had an announcement on a competition of the high school brothers. Miss Garrett, can y'all hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okie dokie. If you follow us on Instagram, you know this, but we had several high school brothers audition for all region and placed in choirs. There's 3 different choirs. There's a non-varsity, so I'll just go ahead and just name off the list. The non-varsity brothers that made a non-varsity choir was Jose Benitez, William Holton Morris, Angel Almendarez, Heber Velasquez, Saul Rojas, and James Walton. And then there are 2 varsity choirs. There's district, which is just Macon district, and then there's region, which the region brothers go on to state. And those district brothers are Julio Bracero, first chair, Andres Juarez, Omar Ortiz, first chair, Isaac Molina, Thomas Jordan, first chair, Julio Lopez, Oscar Leon Fernandez, Jonathan Martinez, Christian Acala, Martin Rivera Morales, Kevin Ortiz, Axel Razzle Medina, and Tom Grau. And then finally, our 5 brothers that go on to state. This is tied for the brothers in the past for most brothers go to state, but also we had 3 freshmen, and that's the first time we had 3 freshmen progress. And those 5 brothers are Jorge Davila Lopez, Carlos Acosta, Christopher Williams, Martin Blas Rodriguez, and Tadarian Brown. So I'm gonna be sure to send that to you, Miss Garrett, but make sure if you heard a brother's name, you give them a big congratulations. And we had the most brothers out of Dallas ISD beating Booker T. So when the brothers say they're going to Booker T or Townview, they might as well stay at Bromley because we got twice as many as them.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Ackbar, 6th grade world culture, 7th grade Texas studies. Just a quick announcement for the 6th grade advisory teachers. I sent you guys an email yesterday about a survey. So maybe today or tomorrow, if you guys can have the advisory students. This is 6th grade only. Have them fill it out, please. That'd be great. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Akbar, and thank you, Mr. Forte, and thank you to those brothers for all that hard work that they are doing, preparing for success with the choir. And what other announcements do we have? You all right, well, we will turn it on over to our guest speakers, and I see it looks like we have Mrs. Amber Sims and Mrs. Beth Amari. And have you all been made co-hosts yet?
I don't believe so. No.
And Miss Garrett, we take care of that. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Miss Garrett. All right, well, you all welcome, and thank you very much for joining us. And we will be in here until 9:35, so please take as much time as you need, and we appreciate you all coming. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Mr. Jackson. I guess I can start it off. So, hi guys, my name is Beth. I'm here with Young Leaders Strong City. I am currently a senior in college. I'm studying criminal justice. So I just kind of wanted to introduce myself. I'll let Amber introduce herself and then we'll get into it.
Hi, y'all. Good morning. I'm Amber Sims. I'm one of the co-founders of Young Leaders Strong City. And so we'll talk about this more. We were founded in 2014 as a space for students to come and have discussions about race and identity, but also what's going on with them personally at school and in the world. And so excited to be here and talk to y'all more about our program and our work.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. And then before we get started, I do just have a little video just kind of showing what Young Leaders Strong City is. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys really quick.
And I just want you to repeat after me. I am powerful.
We are in a society that teaches us that power only looks like one thing.
We always have power. We do, no matter what. Whether you're broke, whether you vote, you don't vote, whatever your gender identity is, wherever you came from, whatever you look like, we all have power.
What your group was able to identify is that there's power in a lot of places. There's power in people who have these experiences. There's power in people who are engaged in this work.
We've come into an era when talking about race and issues surrounding race has become quite the conversation starter. Young people, they are also making sure their voices are heard this weekend at the 7th Annual Racial Equity Summit.
Students from public, private, and charter schools from all across DFW have conversations about race and identity. We know that students have opinions and their voices need to be heard, and often they're not allowed to have these conversations on their campuses.
Although this is virtual, you're in a sacred space because you are sacred.
What does it mean to invent hope every day in your world?
You have to find hope. You have to find light. You have to keep going. And if it's not for yourself, you can also find that light for other people and try to give back and help other communities.
I went to the We Who Believe in Freedom workshop. I'd never seen people able to work together and change something from a smaller scale. I've always thought that change could only happen from things that are on a major scale.
If we continue to identify the problems, like solutions will magically appear, but a lot of times these solutions require like work from so many different communities. When you do build relationships with people, those solutions come.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so this is just a little presentation on what the summit is, right? So this is, I'm just going to read it for you guys. The Young Leaders Strong City Teen Equity Summit brings high school students together from across the Dallas-Fort Worth area to speak dialogue, equip participants with tools to create change, and activate students to realize their vision for change, right? So this is kind of how the day is going to go. So I went to the summit when I was a senior in high school, and it was honestly like, and I tell Amber this like every time she asks me what Young Leaders Strong City means to me, it was like a life-changing experience. I got to talk about things that you usually don't really get space to talk about within classrooms, right? It's a classroom, so there's focus on academic things and the curriculum, things like that. So we don't really get to talk about real life experiences. And that's what the summit does. Like, it gives you space to talk about like literally anything that you could imagine like talking about, like and this is kind of how the day is gonna go. Like, we're gonna have workshops, breakout sessions, just like you get to like have conversations with people from so many people from all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, like other students, like teachers, and like people from other nonprofit organizations. So it is open to all students, so anybody's welcome to come. We do have lunch vouchers. And then if you guys do go on the QR, like if you guys want to scan the QR link, also there should be posters around your school with the QR link on there as well, if you're not able to get it on here. But yeah, Amber, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so this year's summit is going to be virtual, you all, but it's still going to be really fun. As you saw from the video, last summit was virtual as well, and we still had really, really great engagement. And just like thinking about some of the topics that we'll have this year, Beth, what topics do we have this year? We're going to be talking about sports and activism, and so athletes in sports, but also about imposter syndrome and how to overcome that. What else, Beth? School to prison pipeline.
Yeah, so I have like our list pulled up. Let me.
And then I know that we'll also have some of our guy friends too to just talk about like masculinity, but also like what are some of the stereotypes that come along with like gender roles, immigration, colorism, intersectionality, identity, advocacy and activism, and then body positivity. And then Beth pulled up the slide as well that also has the schedule of the day. And so we start with an opening, and then the really cool thing, we're going to do a game called Do All Students Think the Same, to talk about some current events that are happening and stereotypes that might come on with people. And then we'll do the workshops. The cool thing about the workshops, you all, is you get to choose the workshops. And so there'll be anywhere from 10 to 13 workshops, and you get to go to 2 different workshops, but you get to choose the one that resonates with you the most.
Sorry. Yeah, so guys, I really like, as someone who has like personally been to the summit, I really do recommend this. Like, it's just such a great place for like for you to talk about so many different so many different things, and then also just like learn so much. You get to hear so many different opinions, meet so many different people. Like, I met Amber through that, and now like I'm working with her to spread awareness and create change within our communities. And like, I remember after the summit, like there was this huge thing on my school, like as far as, you know, like racism goes. And like I worked with Amber to like help create change within my school and within my district, right? So like it can go beyond just like.
And Beth, like you're really glossing over your story. Can you actually tell everyone exactly what happened? Because it's a really impressive story, and I don't think that you should gloss over it. So go ahead. Like talk about what happened.
Yeah, so my senior year of high school, it was during the fall semester. There was this huge incident on my school where it was like one of our rival football games, and like those can kind of get out of hand sometimes. And there were lots of like racist memes and just like really insensitive memes getting spread around. You guys might have heard about it. It was like on national news. It was a huge deal. And it was literally, I think it was like right before the summit happened. So when I got to go to the summit and we got to talk about all these different things, I was like, oh my gosh, like we have to talk about this at my school specifically. And I had went to Amber after the summit, and I was like, hey, like this happened on my school, and I would really like love to have you guys come over and like, you know, speak at it, or like I just like want to do something about it. And it was me and one of my other friends, Naomi, and it took months. I think it was like, that was during fall, it was like in November. And then in May of the next semester, we were able to have kind of like a mini summit where we had 200 students from my district, just from my district, come to a summit, and we got to talk about like all these things. So like, you know, like race and things like that. And I mean, like it was like a district-wide thing. Like we had the superintendent come, and then we had our equity, racial equity director come as well. And it was amazing to see like so many students and it wasn't like from just like all of Dallas, it was just like from my district that were able to come, that saw what was wrong. They all saw the issue, and they all wanted to come and discuss like the issue, discuss change, and like the fact that we were able to just like create that. And then it became like an annual thing where we have students just from the district come every year. I think it's still in May, and we do this every year, just kind of like to educate our district on the issues. But yeah, I think it was really amazing. Am I leaving anything out?
No, it's really good.
Yeah, so if you guys can come, I feel like I'm being a little biased, but I'm really not. Like, it's a really amazing organization. It's a really, really amazing summit, super educational, and it's honestly fun. Like, it's not like people talking at you and throwing information at you the whole time. It's super interactive and super fun. Like, I don't know. I recommend it so much. But yeah, Amber, anything else?
Yeah, we'll take a moment and pause. Like, does anyone have like questions or anything from the audience?
Okay, so we have two audiences. We have the audiences that, well, the 6th and 7th grade brothers here in the auditorium, and then we also have the rest of the school and their advisory. So if any teachers have students in their advisories that have questions, or if anyone in here who has a question, you all raise your hand and you could be unmuted. Okay, did you see Mr. Chatoni's question?
Yeah, yeah, it is going to be on Zoom, and the link for the Zoom will be sent after registration.
I'm curious too, from the group, are there like any topics or things that are going on campus that you would like to see as a summit workshop? And thank you, Mr. Chitani, for the 10th graders. We love that. Like, are there any topics, you all, that you could think of, or issues that might be happening on campus or in school that you might want to talk about, like at, or have as a topic at the summit?
Okay, there's a brother here who has a question or a comment. Make sure you say your name.
My name is Brother Simeon, and my question is it just high school or can middle school sign up too?
You know, typically, Brother Simeon, we ask high schoolers, but you know, we have had some 8th graders come to our summit. And so if it's something that you're interested in, please, you know, sign up and we'd be happy to have you. We'd love for you to get a head start. Thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you very much. So it'll be extended to 8th grade brothers?
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
We can make that happen. We'll do that, especially because we know of the caliber of the young men from BOMLA.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And then Nurse West has her hand up.
Hello, my name is Brother Caleb Scott, and I just wanted to ask, like, could a topic be like sexism, or would that be how you say it? Sexism?
Yes, that's a really good one. We need to add that to our list, Beth, because that's definitely something that like we want to talk about in different identities. And so that's actually a great question. And you all, like, have y'all heard about the critical race theory legislation? It's House Bill 3979 that's kind of going around in schools. And so part of, you know, just to kind of give you like a reflection off of that question, is what that bill is trying to do. I know that on your campus, you all probably have ethnic studies classes like the Hispanic studies class and the African American studies class, which are part of, like, you know, our identities. And so my identity is I'm an African American Black woman. And like was stated, you know, because of my identity as a woman, I can face something called sexism. And sexism is basically where I am discriminated against because of my gender. Okay. But I can also be discriminated because of what? My race. But also like the different identities. What the House Bill 3979 has also made it a little harder to do is, like, there have been some calls to even completely take out classes like the ethnic studies classes for African American and Mexican American studies. And we know that those are very important for the identities of people of color, but for everyone. And so our work is, you know, we want to be able to have a safe space to talk about our identities and who we are, because that makes up our story, right? And the things that are really important to us. And so, like, we can't learn from the things that we don't talk about. And so also what we're trying to do is get you all comfortable, because we know that when you learn about different cultures and identities and genders, we become more inclusive. But we also know that it helps improve academic performance, attendance, and it makes you more interested, because these are the things that students are interested in. And so we want to be able to talk about these things, quite frankly, but we also want you all to be able to, in the way that Beth did, advocate for the things that you want to change. And our idea is like, we can't tell y'all. And so also, you know, when you bring up sexism, it's very important because as men and as folks that, you know, might hold a male identity, it's very important that y'all are able to advocate on behalf of women. Right, you know, not for them, but on behalf of, and really think about the ways in which we have privilege and how we can help someone else out. And so that's something else about the summit. Thank you for that question. That was such a good one. And so I wanted to leave you all with a few questions, and these are things that we ask a lot, and Beth and I are going to model it. And so one of the things that we talk about a lot, you all, during our workshops is when people see you, what do they think about you? And at times like this can be based on like how we look. And so it's also a question of like, what identity do you think about the most? And so me, I've already kind of talked about it, but I think about being a woman and being a Black woman quite a bit. And then the other question is, what is something that someone might not know about you? And my answer to that is like, folks might not know about me. What do folks not know about me? That I, you know, that it took a long time. Like I have my hair in braids, but for me to feel really comfortable with how like I felt about my hair and being able to like express myself in different ways. And so when I was in corporate America, I was very much, you know, my hair had to be straight. And I really felt like I had to conform to these things. But I also worked in baseball. I worked for the Texas Rangers for a long time. I was one of the only Black women that worked in the front office for a Major League Baseball team. And so that's something about me that someone might not ask. So we'll have Beth answer these questions, but I do see a young man to the podium, so we'll take the next question.
You're muted.
Hi, my name is Brother Quitman, and my question was, you said 8th grade brothers can participate if they wanted to, but can 6th grade brothers still join?
Yes.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come. Yes, go ahead and sign up. All of you are more than welcome to join us.
That's right, y'all. You got to advocate for yourself because who else is going to? Thank you, sir.
That sounds great. Well, these posters are already in the building.
Awesome.
And we'll make sure that we put this on our virtual leadership lounge also, where this can be made available to our brothers
And
as
then
well.
one other thing, you all, that we did not get to talk about that we just want to close with is, Beth, can you talk about our Youth Advisory Council? Because everyone from BOMLA is also invited to that, and that happens on a monthly basis. And so we would be remiss if we didn't talk about YAC and some of the topics that you've covered with our students up to this point.
Yeah, really quick, Miss West, did someone have a question? Sorry, I saw your hand was raised.
Yes. My name is Caleb Scott again, and I just want to ask, this is kind of like an opinionated question, but like, what's your I want to say definition. What's your opinion on other people trying to, like, help or even try and copy or do another race's or like religion or culture?
About like cultural appropriation?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, right. So that's actually a really great question because that was, I believe we talk about that at this one, but also it was like one of the topics at the summit when I went. And we got to like cover a lot of things, right? Like why cultural appropriation is wrong, what the difference is between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation, right? So like that was one of the topics at the summit when I had went, and it was like a really, really great workshop. I believe that was one of the ones that I went to. But Amber, do you want to take this?
Yeah, it's a really important point because it can be that some folks are I mean, there's some great things around, folks want our rhythm but don't want our blues. And so what that says is around like people of color, we know that there are distinct experiences that we have based on our identity, be it because you're a person of color, a woman, or even like your religion. And so, some questions to think about are like, are folks who are, appropriating or trying to become or share a culture, are they showing up for things? And so, are they acting in allyship? Which means, being an ally in terms of the issues that a community might have. Some good examples are, do we make, if you're thinking about, I guess like, I wouldn't say appropriating, but if you are a big fan of like hip hop and rap music, but are not necessarily advocating for Black people and Black culture and equitable rights, then that's not being an allyship or in true community. And what we really advocate for folks to do is be in community with one another. And so how can we learn from each other, but also have respect? And that's what it's based in, is like having mutual respect and understanding, and being okay if somebody's telling you from, whose culture you might be a part, you might be trying to be influenced by. If someone's telling you that that's offensive, really take the time to listen to what they're saying, and take that to heart and find ways to change behavior or do a better job of acknowledging the things that they're talking about. Good question.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great question. Those are the kinds of things that like you can ask at the summit and like talk about. And then of course, like for next year, if you do have topics, we're more than welcome to add those topics. But guys, so this is this was our YAC flyer for the October meeting, right? So YAC is one of our monthly meetings. So it's our Youth Advisory Council. So I have been in charge of that since August, I believe. I like to call it like a mini summit, right? So we still do have students from all over Dallas that come to these monthly meetings, and we talk about current events. We talk about like race, gender, sexuality, whatever comes up, right? So like in September, the biggest thing going on in Texas was like the new laws that were being passed, right? Like CRT, things like that. And then also like what was going on in Afghanistan was one of the biggest things going on. So like in September for our meeting, that's what we talked about was current events, the news, media literacy, things like that. And then in October, this is what we talked about was the school to prison pipeline. This was one of my favorite YAC meetings that like I've seen so far. But we got to talk about the school to prison pipeline, the dress codes, like policies within our schools, and then like how to create change, right? So how to stop the school to prison pipeline, like what kind of policies are being implemented in your school that like promote the school to prison pipeline, right? Things like that. So like I said, it's kind of like a mini summit, but it's literally just a space for students to have conversations. Like I really considered like the presentations that I make as kind of like a guide more than like a presentation. I just kind of like to give students a space to talk about, like whatever's going on, like whatever current events going on, we kind of like give our students space to share their opinions. Like all opinions are welcome. It's like, hey, this is what's going on. This is like these are the facts. And then like, let's hear your opinions. And then from there, like, it's like, what can we do to change these things? Am I leaving anything out?
No, that's great. And so after the summit, we'd love to have y'all join us for these meetings. They're really awesome. And you get to continue the work. And then I see we have another question, perhaps.
I'm Brother Simeon again, and my question is, how do we sign up? Do we use the QR code to like sign up?
Yeah, you can either use the QR code, and I can pull that up here again, or you can someone just put the website in the group chat or in the chat. So if you do go to the website, you are more than welcome to sign up on there as well. There should be a link on there for you to sign up, but let me share the QR link with you really quick. There you go. And then there's
Miss Garrett posted it on the leadership lounge.
Oh, awesome. And that QR code, y'all, is like, you put your phone up to it and it's going to come up. It's active. So we really, really are excited about the possibility of having a huge showing from BOMLA. And thank you for having us today.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Appreciate this.
No, thank you very much for engaging us this morning, and we look forward to working with you all in the future with this one and also with future events. So thank you all. We all please give a big round of applause for our speakers. All right. Well, thank you all again, and we'll be in touch. Thank you very much, y'all.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
You do the same. Thank you. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for engaging in the conversation. And if we don't have any other announcements, you all, we can be dismissed. And I'll see you all in the hallways. Have a great day at BOMLA. Thank you.